Welcome to Food Delicious Life. We have with us Puneet Vora, who is a mariner working for the Merchant Navy. Hi Puneet, welcome to Food Delicious Life. How are you doing today?
Good evening, Priyanka. I'm doing very well and very excited to be part of Food Delicious Life.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me part of the show.
So Puneet, I wanted to know what drove you to this kind of a profession?
Yeah, I've been sailing for a lot of years, and what I've enjoyed here has been so much to talk, which you will get to hear in the due course. I have so many tales to tell you. Uh, in fact, when I was in the class 12th,
Okay.
I had my elder brother
Okay.
who was sailing, and he had been there for a couple of years as a trainee officer. And I was always looking forward to following up his footsteps.
Okay.
And I saw a lot of glamour, I saw a lot of adventure, and we guys are from the army background, so we were looking at that kind of life. And then obviously there was a lot of money which was there.
Okay.
Earning American dollars.
Yes.
And that feeling of getting there. So that drove me there, and finally I was there sailing. Finally I got through after 12th. I got part of the MMERT, an exam was there, got through
Okay.
there, and then I got through sailing, and I had a very, very beautiful training period that was wonderful. So that's how I was.
That sounds great, but besides the glamour and adventure, what experiences did you have as a mariner in the sea?
Yeah, I've had a lot of mixed kind of things. Obviously, from the outside, when you look at this profession, there's a lot of glamour, a lot of adventure. People look at mariner. When people say merchant navy, I mean, people say a lot of money,
Yes.
guys enjoying life. But I'm sorry to say that there's a lot more to it, and life is very different. We are going through a lot of hardships, but definitely, no doubt, we enjoy our work. There's a
Right.
lot of passion. There's a lot of dedication from each and every person working there. Otherwise, shipping without each and every guy, we are a cohesive unit, So each and every guy has a role to perform.
Right.
And I feel without everyone's contribution there, we wouldn't have been doing well. But a mixed bag in terms of hardships.
Yes.
We have the major part is that we stay away from home. And
Yes.
we have family thing. We have our closed ones staying very far away from us. Stress levels, working
Okay.
at odd hours. Weather when we are sailing from one port to the other. Weather is another factor which we have to fight all the time. We are 24/7 on there, and we are like soldiers. We are because see, the main business on the ship is to have a cargo from port A to port B.
Okay.
So that is the main, that we are commercial. We are like a first line of defense, as they say. So our job is where we are transporting any kind of cargo from port
Okay.
A to port B, and we have to make sure the things happen very, very systematically with all
Okay.
the safety precautions while we carrying out cargo operations. When we are doing navigation, we have to be, keeping up to the IMO standards, the
Right.
maritime standards, where we have to be very safe, very vigilant,
Okay.
and there are many odds we have to go through. But then life goes on as a, you have to be mentally very strong, very, very, very strong, because life there is nothing else but a lot to do with your physical and mental ball game. So life has been pretty nice and good, and I'm very positive. In fact, I tell everyone they must be there, but if you're positive and raring to go, then this is a good profession.
Yes.
It can, show you the world. You can see lots of places. You can earn good money. You can plan your life, and you can enjoy everything.
So that's a great advice for our young men who want to join the Navy. Also, in terms of family life, you just said that you have to be away from the family. What about the good side? Is there a good side to it too?
Yeah, the best part, which I tell a lot of people whenever I come back home in social gatherings, I always mention. People keep asking me, "You're on chutti?" I said, "Yeah," and I tell them that chutti is my own baby, So when I'm off, I'm off, and when I'm on. So this is one best thing. None of the occupations today, none of the professions can offer you. This is one profession which, when you're off, means you're off, and when we are on, means on. And we generally, when we work on the ship, we always say that it's a switch on, switch off mode. I leave home, moment I fly out from the airport, I land on the ship, the reliever is flying out, and you have not even slept. There's a backlog.
Okay.
With jet lag, you 48 hours. I remember I've flown into Brazil 50 hours. The moment I've landed, my reliever has to go in 6-8 hours because the ship is leaving, commercial pressures, and you take over in those 6-8 hours, and you have to be very vigilant because here, life is all about how vigilant you are. Because I tell my viewers, the sea never gives you a second chance, and
that's true.
sea is very deadly. So you have to be sure with your first chance, and the first chance is your last chance, and you can achieve that. You have to keep your, as basic things for any mariner, as we have learned right from our early days, you keep your eyes, ears open, and you see, you hear, and, you act as per that. You're walking on a deck, you're walking on the bridge, you have your ears, eyes, and that's what life is all about. And you concentrate on your work, and we will do wonders.
That's great. Great to know so much about the sea life. Another thing I wanted to know from you is I've heard a lot of attacks which happen, while you are sailing. I don't know too much about it. Can you, have you experienced any of that?
Yeah, firstly, I must tell you, this piracy, the whole business of piracy, I had an encounter, but before that, I'd like to tell you that somewhere back in 2010, when I was sailing part of the Gulf of Aden, but I must tell you that piracy is basically a business. People, as what we've learned, read and see and hear, is piracy is a business. It's a racket, and sufferers, mariners, we suffer a lot because we have made the scapegoats. We have kept at ransom. So the basic here is that piracy takes place for taking charge of the vessel. We have very valuable cargoes. I sail on the chemical, on the oil cargoes, so very expensive cargoes. Cargoes are, they're unaccountable in terms of money, and then there's ship's cost. So people, these pirates encash on that. Then they know the vessel's value, and other than that, then they have they know that if they hold the crew ransom, they can ask the owners, the people for the money. The money for the vessel to get the release. So that is the main business, how it goes. And another thing is what it affects. The cost of shipping increases, obviously, in that transit corridor and the area you are transiting. Obviously, there's a piracy area. The cost of shipping increases there. And then another very major thing, it brings instability to that region. So all in all, this is the thing. I was part of one of these. I remember 2010, 11. There was a vessel coming in from China, and I and another support officer, we were to assist one brand new vessel with coming in from China, newly come out of the dock, and we had to assist some multinational crew, get them off Gulf of Aden and Red Sea and back. They were going to Egypt. So my job with that guy was to get them off right till, because we board in at somewhere off Mangalore, and we get them off right till Egypt. So in those days, there used to be no armed guards. So in those days, there used to be a longitude point, a point where high-risk area starts, where you have to meet a convoy for a coalition warship. So what coalition warships, what they do is that you will have a warship right leading you, then you'll have merchant ships followed by another coalition warships. Could be any vessel that's flying, any country's coalition warship flying, Chinese, French, Indian. So we are part of that convoy. So I remember we were to catch a convoy there during, I'm talking 2010 again, I emphasize on that because nowadays we have armed guards on board. So 2010, I was part of this convoy. We were to get there. I had a Romanian master, and we were part of the navigate assist. We were part of the security assist. So I remember one of those days when we were part of the high risk areas, we encountered a mother vessel.
And may I know what's a mother vessel?
In seaman term, mother vessel is a vessel that basically a vessel that's hijacked. Pirates hijack that vessel with those small skiffs and their small boats, and then they make that as I could call it in a layman term, headquarters. So they launch, that becomes a launching pad. So see, if I'm a mother vessel, I've been attacked by pirates. You don't know I've been attacked by pirates.
Yes, that's right.
When you approach close to me, you don't know this is a pirate vessel, right? So you become vulnerable to it. So it becomes a very major threat. So we got an intel. Intel, I would say, in terms of we have satellite systems. So I got a satellite systems. I still remember I was on the bridge. I called up the captain because we were not part of the crew on board. So our job was to assist. So I had to inform the master. I said we saw a message wherein we had a mother vessel abandoned
Okay.
It was in black and white. You know, we keep getting maybe the warship had intercepted and we got that. So we saw that after some time our abandoned ship drifting away close towards us, 5-6 miles. Sunset time. I was with that another assist from with me who was assisting the whole unit,
Okay.
whole crew. And then I called up the master, and there was a panic station because we had already missed the convoy.
Okay.
I had missed the convoy. We couldn't reach the convoy, so we were never part of the convoy because of the weather and current that was against us.
Okay.
So we were as it is in an area where we were following the convoy. Convoy was already 100, 200 miles, 100, 150 miles ahead. And I remember that we could see this mother vessel drifting in close, and initially it looked like that there is someone there, but then we continuously monitored the drift and the set, the pattern. Sure that definitely there's nothing on because we monitored our currents and things, so we knew that there's nobody there.
Nobody. Okay.
And in the evening, you know, as we have lights on the ship, navigation lights, there were no lights on. That could be when attacked by mothership, but that made sure because I saw echo on the radar. You know, we guys monitor radar. So I saw an echo. I called these guys and I said, "This is the echo. The last coordinates, the latitude, longitude was there." And then we calculated that from so much time, she must be somewhere here. So, you know, definitely it's got to be that. And then the way, you know, the vibes, I'm sorry, the other ways what we talked, the vibes that mother vessel was giving was typically the same one. So we raised
So you
alarm.
just thought that was a mothership.
Yeah, so we raised, I called captain, he was Romanian guy, he started calling any warship. And because we had missed the convoy, there was no warships around. And we knew that if there is somebody in part of this part of the mothership, then we are gone because mothership was firstly what we know would be, you know, approaching us at a faster thing. Only what we could do there, actually once a pirate boat, you know, is following you, you do maneuvers. There, what we decided, let's start getting as far as away as fast as possible. That was what we decided. In the meantime, I told captain, the other navigation assist, we said, let's start calling up any vessel around. Nobody replied. 7ish in the evening, 7:30, and we were, you know, and that vessel kept coming close. The problem was there were no lights. 7ish, gone dark, but the echo is getting closer and we're getting away. But then what happened is we started going faster because the current was 2-3 knots then, and we were doing 7-8 and start going away. So we thought it's abandoned and we are finally away. So narrow escape, but vigilant team. And vessel was all having razor wire, like a fort, all prepared. So we were in place and happy that we escaped that zone. And finally, we never made it to any other convoy. We were all by ourselves in that zone, IRTC zone, A point to B point. That separates Gulf of Aden and Somalia. And we were right there. Then comes Bab el Mandeb and Red Sea. So we were all there, and we reached moment we got into Red Sea, and things were a little better, and then we monitored more, and things were fine. So that was a very, very close call because we never expected missing a convoy. No, first. Then secondly, we never expected currents against. We never expected weather to go bad. And then third thing, having another mother vessel, and that too part of the Intel SATC satellite communication system gave that coordinates, and same vessel comes next to you. So we were a little, and that time 2010, if mariners recollect, people watching this, the Piracy was on the rise. Nowadays Piracy is down to quite an extent, and instead of we following a convoy, we have from point A to point B, we have armed guards. So we have armed guards who assist us. Like on merchant ships, we are not allowed to have weapons, though we might be trained on weapons, a lot of us, done defense courses early on. But we are not allowed to carry weapons. So we have armed guards who come on with ammunition. They join in point A and get on in point B. So they assist us to pass that, you know, the corridor, the Gulf of Aden. So they are become our security guards. So nowadays it's like that. But 2010, I remember you had Piracy on the rise, and you know, and I still remember you go down to your mess room. The young OS joined, 16 years old. A Filipino guy was crying, I don't want to, you know, transit the area, but I said, buddy, you got to pass through. Life is all about that. So God's been kind. Yeah. It was a very, very,
something which a lot of people might not know.
But all in all, what I say, all's well that ends well. And we enjoyed the time, and I've been so closely part of this journey of marine journey. I love this place, and it's a beautiful place to be in. I tell a lot of people all the while that sea is my home. I feel back home, land India, second home. Sea is my home because I spend more time on the ship than I spend home. So
I'm sure,
and I have highest regards, and sea gives you bread and butter. Not just bread and butter; it's a passion,
Right.
and it's the way how you take life there.
Right.
You could be negative. We get up at odd hours. I don't sleep. I do 36 hours at a stretch many times, but sometimes I do 18 hours at a stretch. But then I relax. And you see all of us working. And another thing which I need to really mention here, on the ships we don't have a, I can't do your job. I can do your job, but then I mean, if you have to sign off, get off from a ship, you need a guy replacing you. Reliever.
Okay.
So it's a very professional field. It's a very professional field, and I tell people and the viewers once again, sea never gives you a second chance. So be vigilant, be safe, and we can crack the world.
So, Puneet, tell me, since you're sailing, have you come across any sea life or sea animals in the middle of the sea?
Yeah, that's a very interesting question. I mean, people don't realize. Firstly, let me tell a lot of people here. What people do is people do these cruises to go and enjoy sea life. To let you know the truth, I enjoy live sea life. I mean, what happens is
that's so interesting.
Yeah, it's very interesting because you are there and you are experiencing the live stuff. Wherein you do whale watching, say in Colombo, Sri Lanka. You have to be hired by a boat and you're gone to show. People show you a whale and lots of blah blah blah. Here I see many times. We're so busy actually to observe. It's the other way around. I would actually make it more interesting. Actually, the sea animals see us more than we see them. Yeah, actually, because many times I go on the bridge and I see whales. I was in South Africa and the whales. We were at anchor. You could see whales passing left, right, and center, and we are still the anchor. You're handed over the watch. You don't hand over the ships, but we hand over कि 4 whales वहाँ पे हैं and 3 whales यहाँ पे हैं. Sometimes it happens like that. Very interesting. So that is one thing. Other time we love the animals out at sea, which are always there with us, and those are dolphins. Dolphins bring in. We always take dolphins as a positive energy. We say कि dolphins अगर हमारे जहाज के आसपास हैं, so they bring in positivity. आगे मौसम अच्छा है, they are the ones who are lucky charm.
That's true. All animals bring in positivity.
Yeah. Now that you asked me a very interesting question, I remember during my trainee days, I was sailing on. Actually, I'll tell you the first ship, and I was on my first ship encounter with sea life on the very first ship, and the first few months of my sea time when I was sailing. I remember we had the crew from Minicoy. Minicoy is an island where we have crew, so that crew we had on board. And I remember my bosun. Bosun is a guy who's the head of the crew guys, so he handles the scene down. So he was the guy who was fishing. So we were sailing, and while sailing only, he had put a hook on right at the aft. Aft is the after part of the ship, pichle side mein. And he had the hook on, and I think I was a cadet roaming around with a lot of work. Cadets do a lot of work, and then we learned that he got hold of a fish. And then what we learned, it was not a fish, and it was a shark.
Oh my God.
So the guy got a wrong person on, that was a shark. And shark wo bhi itni badi, mujhe jo yaad hai. It was about 1.5 2 meters long. And believe you me, it was, I remember I went onto the after part and I was looking overboard. And I remember I was a 19-year-old guy then. I remember, and I was seeing a shark. Shark ke muh mein hook laga hua hai, and shark is being pulled up.
Okay.
Because I remember this Minicoy enthusiastic bosun we had.
Wow.
He wanted to get the fish, but he got hold of this wrong lady, and trying to and then he felt actually that she can't come on board because reason was that fish wo choti hoti hai, hook mein aa jati hai. The problem was the shark was too long and too heavy.
Okay.
So he was struggling, and I remember that he told we had captain, we had everybody on the ship, on the after part of the ship, about 15 people. And we tried to get the shark. We were struggling with the shark. There was a nice thick line, and there was a hook on to the shark. Shark was struggling on, hooked on.
Okay.
And he was telling the captain, I remember, that I'm trying to release her because we don't want to catch a shark.
Yes.
And she's too big, we can't, pull her up. And I still remember कि बड़ी कोशिश कर रहे थे इसको निकालने की, छोड़ने की, and it was like it's a tug of war.
Oh my
tug
God.
of war with a
Yes.
bloody shark. You're playing around, man, out in the open ocean. And I don't know how poor shark was part of. She was a victim there
So,
instead
but
of
did the
fish.
shark survive or?
No. Okay. Then what happened was we couldn't get the hook off, and hook atka raha uske upar shark
Okay.
pe, and then we had to pull the shark to
Okay.
get her off. We tried level best, but then we decided. But the problem was, how do you pull the shark up? Shark is 2 meters long and so heavy. So we
Right.
had 10 people, 15 people with a
Okay.
line, and everybody was pulling the shark up. And pulling the shark up, fine. But the poor shark had no other way. But then she had to. I mean, she won't survive because
yeah.
she died of all gills and everything
Oh
coming
my
out.
God.
So that was a very sad thing. But that was the only way. We struggled. I remember we tried to save that animal for a good couple of hours, but actually we could not. So finally, we got the shark on board, and we laid her on the deck.
Okay.
After part of the deck, I still remember we had a
That's
long
so
shark,
sad, yeah.
and she was by then dead. And obviously then she was a museum for us, museum to capture pictures. So that was it. I'm sorry for the shark. We all felt very bad, but then she was part of us. So we
Yes.
clicked pictures. Nobody was interested to eat the shark, obviously. And
Yes.
I remember that the Minikoi bosun was telling
Okay.
us that shark soup is good and this is good, and he's giving all the
Yes.
technical know-how of the shark, and it was an interesting thing. But then we couldn't manage much on that, and then finally we got the hook off, and she was laid on the deck, and then we had to chop off the shark, and because
my
the
God.
problem was to throw the shark back in the ship on
Just too
in
heavy.
the sea, but you need so many people, so
Yes.
you have to chop the shark and get her back there. So
Yes.
sad that she was a victim, but unfortunate. And I remember that was a very 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 early days when I saw, and I said, "यार, life is very interesting. यहाँ तो आप hook डालो तो shark आ जाती है, no और कुछ डालोगे तो पता नहीं क्या क्या आ जाएगा." I mean,
So what about the fishes? Like, do you like do fishing there and then you get to eat them? How
yeah, I
does that
think
work?
actually, let me tell the audience here. People feel all mariners eat a lot of fish.
Right.
Believe me, there are a lot of vegetarians also. But the other thing is, what people feel कि we catch hold of fish, chalte firte, left fish, you walking, right fish.
Yeah,
no, it's
yeah.
not as
Easy.
as it is. Not easy. Every port has a restriction of catching fish. So
Okay.
when we do it in areas where there's no restriction to catch, no fishing zone.
Okay.
There we don't. Where there's fishing zone, and the Filipino crew, we have all sorts of nationality crew. They put the line on. We have best of the fishes, and we throw the line and we pick them up, and we have a lot of fishing. So that takes place a lot of anchorages, and generally in ports these days we're not allowed to fish because there's no fishing zone. But then we
Right.
do a lot in anchorages and areas where they're allowed, and then we get them on, and we have variety of seafood.
Okay,
On the
wow.
platter, and then
Yeah.
now you can say I really am fishing there. So that's
Yes,
how.
that sounds good.
That's how we fish when we fish. But otherwise
Okay.
we don't fish like that. We are not a fishing vessel. Yeah, and we are into other
Yes.
cargo operations. This is just a leisure.
Yes.
And this only those people. We have fishing kits on board because we know
Okay.
that crew come on board. They like to fish, so that's a leisure part. That's part of the extracurricular activities of those guys who go down and fish. So
Right.
they do a lot of fishing. A lot of people do a lot of fishing, but we do it in a no fishing zone. I'm making it public here because we're not allowed to fish in ports. So so
Right.
we do it legitimate, and
Yes.
we do it only where it's allowed. But we enjoy fishes, and then the fish comes in the galley. My cookie prepares lovely tandoori fish and blah blah blah, and we enjoy a lot, and we enjoy a lot of cuisine on that. So
Wow, that sounds good because I love
we are
seafood
blessed.
too.
Yeah, we all love.
But okay. So my last question to you is, what kind of food or cuisine do you like? Since you are traveling all over the world and you must be trying different kind of cuisines. So what kind of cuisine do you like?
Yeah, as I have been sailing so long and I have been to almost all the parts of the world, I have had the food from the southeast to South America, the Mexicans, the Italians, and so much more. What we guys enjoy the best is the moment we hit a port, the foodies,
Okay.
big foodies like me, we go and attack the local cuisine, and we have it to the hilt. But I enjoy, I know it's something very strange, but I enjoy the seafood. I mean, it's not that because I'm from the sea that I enjoy seafood, but I enjoy seafood a lot. But nevertheless, there is nothing better than ghar ka khana. I enjoy the.
तो घर के खाने में
Ghar
what
ke
do you
khane
like?
mein I love everything. I love everything that is cooked well and cooked by cooked with love. And I love a lot of paranthas. In fact, to tell you the truth, I can eat paranthas 3 times a day, 4 times a day, and 5 times a day. I love paranthas so much, and I can have the makhan as well. But I love the seafood. I don't know, the sea is in me, or the animals are in me, and I love
Yeah.
a lot of sea food. So that is, I mean, back home, I can have fish and seafood almost every day. So I love
Okay,
that.
that's
And
amazing.
so let's make it that way. I have paranthas in the breakfast. Lunch I have seafood, and then dinner I'll mix with seafood and paranthas.
So
I can
paratha
do
has
that.
to be there in your
Yeah,
diet.
so I have parantha with seafood. You can well imagine what combination it is. But then I
Yes,
love both.
you
So I
like-
love a little parantha and a little seafood. But I
Okay.
love seafood. I love seafood.
Amazing.
I enjoyed Mexican, Italian, and so much more. And Mediterranean is nice. And Southeast Asian, again seafood.
Yes.
Is amazing. Singapore, Indonesia, Malaysia. I love
Okay.
those cuisines there. But what I love the most is seafood, and I love ghar ka khana once again, and I love the paranthas. So I'm a parantha guy.
Okay.
Cheers to all the parantha lovers on
Amazing,
the earth,
amazing
and
to know that.
to the Foodlicious here. I say cheers to Foodlicious.
Thank you,
and
thank you
must
so much.
You must promote more of paranthas now.
Yeah,
So,
the
right?
next recipe will be parathas.
Yeah,
now.
and please invite me over next time so I can do a lot of paranthas eating.
Yes,
I won't
sure.
give you the recipes. I won't give you the recipes, but I'll enjoy more of paranthas eating with you.
Sure, sure. Thank you, Puneet, for joining us in our show and sharing your real life experience as a mariner.
Thank you, Priyanka. It was a wonderful experience. I was excited and I shared my heart out, and I loved every bit being in here.
Thank you.
Thanks to Foodlicious. You guys are doing wonderfully well.
Thank you so
And,
much.
Thanks for hosting me. And I loved being here. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Thank you, friends, for watching this show. And we'll be coming back with more such personalities with exciting adventures. And keep tuned to our show. Please subscribe to our channel. And thank you so much, Puneet, to be here once again.
Love being here. And everyone watching this, make sure you guys subscribe to Foodlicious channel. These guys are doing a wonderful job, and bravo.
Thank you so much.